Here we are on the very busy corner of Crown and William Street. Big pubs, apartment buildings, car rental places. Not exactly the sort of place you think you'd find one of the coolest, most hidden little wine bars in Sydney. And so here it is, everyone. Love Tilly Devine. I'm outside Love Tilly Devine, and Matt's come out to meet me. Owner and sommelier, would you call yourself?
I would say that's fairly correct.
But fantastic to get down here to Love Tilly Devine, and just want to ask a few questions about, where it all came about. What's the name mean? Give us a bit on where it came about, the idea.
So I suppose it was about close to 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
That my partner Tim Webber and I were chatting about the idea of starting up a wine bar, and I suppose we saw that there was a real shortage of real wine bars in Sydney, and we thought there was a gap in Sydney for somewhere that was really wine focused and food more or less played a secondary role.
Yeah.
We didn't want to spend half of our money on food. We wanted to spend 90% of our money on the wine and just have the food on the side.
I have noticed that whenever I've been in before, that the wine can dominate your bill because you just get carried away with that fantastic list.
Okay, well, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a place really for wine lovers, and people that are perhaps experimenting with wine and want to learn more about it and get more involved.
And the experimentation thing, that really comes through in the list. I've had a look in the past. You've got, I think, around 300 bottles on there from all over the world, and 40 seats. So, you do the maths.
This is true.
We've
got around 300 wines on the list at the moment, and a lot of them do come from appellations that are perhaps a little unusual, from parts of the world that people might not be necessarily familiar with. But we want to offer this in such a way that doesn't come across as alienating or exclusive. We really want the experience to be a happy one for people and for them to try things that they might not normally try. We don't have tablecloths, we don't have cloth napkins, but what we offer, I think, is local produce, treated really simply, and beautiful, simple food and great bottles of wine.
And we'll come back to that in just a second, but just quickly, the name, Love Tilly Devine, well, where does that come from?
Love Tilly Devine. So, I suppose Tim and I were interested in 1940s industrial aesthetics.
Yeah.
That's how we wanted to design the bar. So we started to look through and see what was happening in this neighbourhood around the time that we were looking at designing to, and we found this woman, Tilly Devine. And
she was a badass.
She was a badass. She was bad, but she had a nice side.
Okay.
She was also generous, and she looked after people. She was also, she ran all the girls in Darlinghurst. Her husband, Jim Devine, ran the Coke trade. And so that was a really terrible thing to happen, because suddenly you had all of these young girls that were essentially working for Coke. And it was, it was a horrible situation. There were militias running around with razors, because handguns had been made particularly illegal. Yeah. So they were slashing each other. Jim Devine, Tilly's husband, killed a man across the road over at the Strand.
So a pretty interesting past they had. But your laneway here, you're not seeing too many of the militias up and down?
No, not too much.
No?
It's still a colourful area.
It is, yeah.
Look, I suppose, why don't you start with some oysters? We've got Marimbula rocks, which Tim opens to order. Yeah. He leaves the salt water in there, so they're incredibly fresh and vibrant. And I think it's just a really simple white wine to go with that. In Australia, people drink Hunter Semillon with their oysters. In France, they drink Muscadet. So we've got a wine from the 2009 vintage, the Clos d'Ali, from Pierre de Lagrange. Lovely purity, power, a little bit of a kind of fennel aroma and some herbs, but really just about freshness, minerality. And then why don't we do some sliced meat? We use meat from Pinot's La Dolce Vita in Cogra. We think he makes the best small goods in the country. Yeah. So maybe a little bit of Bresaola, some air-dried beef, Copper Cola.
Can we get that website up on the... Good.
Yeah, fantastic. And some cacciatore sausage probably. And I think if we're doing it Italian, why don't we go for something Italian? We've got Gulfi's Rosableo Nero d'Avola. Gulfi, a lot of people consider to be the top producer of Nero d'Avola, to have really popularised the grape down in Sicily. And this is their early drinking style from 2009. You're going to see some beautiful, ripe, almost conserved fruits of raspberry, strawberry, red cherry, light mint. But what's really great about this wine is the minerality. You'll see it straight away. It almost reminds me of like black dirt that you might have in your garden at home, and that underplays it and gives it a lovely kind of savoury element.
Great. Well, with that said, I don't think I can wait much longer before we get stuck into it. So, thank you very much for your time, Matt. I look forward to getting into your food and wine now. Let's head inside.
Excellent.
Okay. Right, we've made it into Love Tilly Devine, and I've managed to catch up with Suzette. I didn't have to look very hard because I don't know if you'll see it later in the video, but there's not a huge number of tables here. So found her hiding up the back. Did you find the place okay, Suzette?
I did find the place okay. To be 100% honest with you, Dan, I did wander into a rather questionable looking place before I realised it was down another alleyway, but once outside on Crown Lane, it was fine.
I know that place. Yeah, don't go in there. We're very fortunately faced with a challenge here of some beautiful oysters, and we've got a glass each of Pierre de la Grange 2009 Muscadet, which Matt recommended as a match to go with the oysters.
And it's a challenge I think I'm up for. The wine is beautiful.
Yeah. Do you know Muscadet?
No, actually, I've got no idea. I'm completely and so far out of my depth, it's just not funny.
Northern France, usually a very good value wine, but as Matt said earlier, sometimes the quality can be a bit questionable.
Yeah.
This, though, great producer, really good vintage 2009, and classic oyster wine.
Oh, okay, great. Let's try some then.
What works really well with this wine is the freshness, the mineral character, lovely acidity.
Yeah, lovely acidity, really balanced acidity.
And that's why I think oysters and Muscadet is such a famous match, because the acidity, the high acidity, and the oysters creates this amazing kind of flavour combination. So please do, get stuck in. You can really taste the sea there. The way they're prepared here, all the salt water is left in there. So
I love how natural they are. There's nothing on top of them. It's just, well, apart from the finger lines, that's beautiful.
And now that wine just cuts through that briny kind of seawater character.
Oh my God, I'm in love. This is like my new favourite thing.
It's a total taste mouth explosion sensation.
Right. I need another one.
Well, for me, the freshness of the wine is an absolute winner. I've got to say, these are some of the best oysters I've had in a long time.
Fresh.
And lovely to see Muscadet on the list here in Sydney. It's a style that won't break the bank, $13 for a glass here. So please try it when you're out in the bar sometime soon.
For me, the really beautiful balanced acidity, which kind of works so amazingly well with the creaminess of the oyster. That's it.
Perfect.
Done.
And thank God we're rolling again, because we've been forced to sit here with this beautiful plate of coppa and brezola and cacciatore, and we haven't been able to eat a thing, have we?
Not a thing.
But anyway, we'll get into it now. This is the second of Matt's suggested food matches for us. So a whole different proposition this time. We've got some red wine, some Gulfi 2009 Nero d'Avola from Sicily. Let's have a look at the wine first, I think.
Let's do the wine. Okay.
So this is a variety indigenous to that part of Italy.
It has a really, really good nose on it. It is. I'm getting fruit.
Yep.
Is that? Yeah?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah?
Quite warm down there, so you get quite ripe fruit.
Ripe fruit. Okay.
I'm getting cherries and some plums and a little bit darker for me. And spice as well. You mentioned spice a little bit earlier. I think I definitely see that.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping to see in terms of the food match here is possibly the freshness and the acidity of the wine tackling some of the fattiness of this meat. But we'll see.
Oh my God, that's amazing. It's got such a nice flavour, but it's not like overpowering. It's beautiful. All right, wine. It's like it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That pair works for me.
Yeah.
Some quite, not overpowering flavours, some quite almost classy meat flavours there, and the wine.
Classy meat.
The wine just props them up a bit, so you can still get the meat, and you can get the wine as well. So it's
Is that because of the acidity in the wine doing that?
Well, acidity is definitely helping. Absolutely.
Right.
Yes. The match here, absolutely beautiful for me. The acidity from this really fresh, beautifully balanced red just absolutely slices through the fattiness, and the flavours complement each other really nicely.
Yeah.
So that's a great food match for me.
Beautiful.
Is it a wine you'd order?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. A, because it takes me back to being in Italy, and it's got to be one of my favourite places on the planet. And B, because it is a little bit rustic, and it is quite a big body, but without being so in your face fruit or smack you in the face dirt or anything like that. So yeah, it's more, so kind of slightly more balanced, hush my mouth than some of the Australian reds we drink.
Okay.
But I just like it.
Fantastic. And if you've had any good experience with Italian reds, leave us a comment.
Or just
Let us
Italians
know what you think.
Stop.
Or Italians. I've always got on very well with Italian men.
Me too.
So, especially if you've had a Nero d'Avola, which is a really interesting variety, growing in popularity here in Sydney. Again, great value, $13 for the glass, which is absolutely fantastic value. So let us know what you think about rustic Italian reds, and definitely if you're this is your small goods supplier of choice, then you're a very, very smart person. Leave us a comment. Tell us what else you like in terms of charcuterie and meats like this. But anyway, so that wraps up our fantastic little food and wine matching experience here at Love Tilly Devine.
Love Tilly Devine.
I certainly will be coming back
tomorrow,
the day after, possibly the day after. If you like this video, I've been told that you can click the like button down here, and if you do it enough times, I'm guessing it's actually down here. If you do it enough times, then I may wear something extremely stupid for the next one. My wife thinks it's actually been thrown away, but no, it's hiding in the wardrobe still. That's all I can reveal.
Actually, I'm really sure your wife has thrown it out, so you'll never wear it again.
It may well have gone, but we'll see. Give us a try anyway. And if you really like it and you click it 100 times, then Suzette will wear it.
This is all news to me, people. All news to me.
But it's on tape now. We can't go back.
That's it. It's fact.
Fantastic. Well, it's been a pleasure, Suzette.
Always.
Come to Love Tilly Devine. If you've been here already, let us know what you think. And
cheers.
For the moment, this has been Spitbucket. And tonight we won't spit so that you don't have to.